And good evening, everybody. This is your host with the most, the coolest ghoul in Appalachia, Scott Scabs Abernathy. Now, I apologize for not streaming the past couple of months. Again, I'm still trying to find my footing around in terms of streaming and whatnot. So I do apologize for that. On the upside, it's finally here. As of next Tuesday, we're finally unleashing the Ghoul Within. And this evening, I'm going to help walk you through some of the things that are going to be changing in terms of, well, ghouls. I do apologize for those looking for gameplay. There may not be gameplay, but there will be a lot of explanations going into learning a lot about ghouls. So feel free to stick with me as I go over a lot of the stuff. If you're here in the chat, feel free to ask any questions, and I will do my utmost best to answer them for you. So, without further ado, let's get my little slideshow going. So, you want to be a ghoul. As we know from the PTS, there's a couple of quests that get you involved into transforming into a ghoul. I won't go much into it, so as not to spoil some of the things, some of the storylines, but there are a lot of changes. So, we're going to be looking at a bit of the pros and cons. Pros. We no longer have a hunger thirst meter. We have our fear meter. Instead of eating or drinking to retain our sustenance or to cure our hunger, we don't have to deal about those anymore. We still do get the buffs that food give us, as well as the restorative properties, but they will not affect our hunger or thirst. Radiation. If it was a pain in the butt for you as a human, got no worries about it. If you do stuff like radiation rumble, or you go fight the Scorch Queen when the bombs drop, feel free to soak in the rads, to just bathe in the glow. It'll be the glow in itself is a restorative mechanic, and you can also spend said active glow you have, activate certain abilities, which we'll go over later. Disease free, yeah. You're already undead. What do you have to What do you need diseases for? Don't worry about them at all. Exclusive perks. From the Ghoul update, we have 28 unique Ghoul abilities and 2 legendary abilities, which support a different number of playstyles, mostly ranged and melee. We'll talk about a bit more about those as well. Ghoulishly good looks. Hey, as a ghoul, you've got your looks going for you. You can finally have your good looks shown for you both in game and out. Some of the cons. No matter what your charisma score is, you're going to see a 10 charisma penalty when activating charisma abilities. So you'll be relying a little bit less on those unless you personally have 10 or plus charisma. Hostile to factions. This is a little bit complicated. If you run, you will be hostile to those who are in the outside world, at least from my own experiences. So if you happen to be allied with certain factions, I believe they will be positive to you. However, groups like the Enclave, the Brotherhood of Steel, they will be aggressive to you all the time, and the only way to go around this is to maintain a disguise that you get from JVO. I'll talk a little bit about that later, about JVO and what she entails. Which also leads to lockout of certain challenges. Since ghouls don't get diseases, it's safe to say any challenges deserving of those that need diseases, I would suggest doing those before you get turned ghoul. There are several guides on how to get all those, so at the very least, you have some preparation there. You will be locked out of certain perks because of the changes to the ghoul. The new ghoul perks, you'll be locked of current existing perks as a human that you would have as you're a human. We'll go over those later. Pherometer maintenance. We'll go over that a bit later, but you are going to have to watch your pherometer, as that gives you both, depending on which way you swing, gives you bonuses or negatives. So now that we've got some of those out of the way, let's go to the next slide. We have our restricted perks. A lot of them are endurance based. Chem resistance, dromedary, ghoulish, hydrofix, iron stomach, lead belly, munchie resistance, natural resistance, radicool, rad resistant, rejuvenated, slow metabolizer, sun-kissed, thirst quencher, and vaccinated. A lot of these deal with food or disease, and a lot of radiation based. A lot of those are tied up in a nice little bow for us ghouls. So a lot of those aren't needed. Happy camper and overly generous. Those have been removed. Those are restricted as well, as due to the food type nature and whatnot. Pharmacist. I honestly can't remember why off the top of my head, but it's there. Luck, mystery meat, and quick hands. Mystery meat is mostly removed because, again, deals with food. Quick hands, you'll see why in a a little bit later as we go through some of the perks. And of course, what rads the legendary perk? It gives you radiation resistance, which is one of the things you do not want as a ghoul. Remember, rads are bread and butter. So, next slide. Feral meter and you. I did up a nice little scale here. Hope you guys don't mind it. The way feral meter goes, for 2 minutes in game, your feral meter drops by 1%. However, if you get disguise from Javo in Radiant Hills, your feral meter drops up 30% for every 2 minutes in game, supposedly. I cannot say I actually tested it out for myself, and I'm going by what's written down right now. So, if you're over 3/4 health, you've got 3 strength, plus 3 to strength, plus 3 to endurance, and plus 30 HP to your current HP. Not bad. 51 to 75%. You don't get the strength and endurance bonuses, but you do get the 15 bonus HP. As we're getting a little weaker in health, 26 to 50, you get -1 endurance and -5 to your max HP. From 1% to 25, now we're getting dangerous. You get -3 endurance, -15 to your max HP, and -10 to your current AP. And when you get feral, you lose 5 endurance, you lose 99 charisma, which means none of that stuff works. -30 HP, -20 to attack points. You gain 150% melee damage, but your hip fire and VATS accuracy is 3 times as less effective. So, we go a little bit there. Also, I do want to say, with that in terms of using the one moment, let me let it come to me. When you use the costume, the disguise from Javo, you will receive some also occurring penalties, which I have not put up in this slideshow. Your sprinting will cost twice as almost 50% more AP than normal. Again, I stated that your feral depletion rate will increase. Your movement speed is slightly slower, and you have a drastic AP drain and almost a forced slow walk. Again, you have a lot of these folks. A lot of the people you want to talk to, they're usually in their main hubs. So that's mostly what the disguise for, and that's mostly for the story mode. Like going into the Wayward, talking to the Enclave, Vault 76 Overseer, Crater Raiders, Foundation Settlers, the Secret Service, and the Brotherhood. So that's something you'll have to be dealing with as well. Mind you, you'll have to go to Javo every time you want to put on a disguise and remove a disguise. Problematic, I know, but I mean, you do what you can. I mean, it's not going to be easy for all of us. So, next slide. What do we got? Now we're getting into the perks. One of the favorite ones. So, I'm going to pull up this here with you, do a little talking of what it'll be and where you will mostly have where you want to have them in terms of builds. Any questions during the time, I'll do my best to go over it. These lists I've gotten from the Fallout Wiki. I compiled a lot of this information myself, so yeah, I'm kind of going back to it. Arms of Steel. This is pretty much for your ranged combat. Allows you to handle your ranged weapons better, increasing your accuracy by 15 and 30% at ranks 1 and 2, specifically. Again, for a lot of ranged, both automatic and non-automatic. So that's mostly for builds of that kind. Bone Shatterer. It's a 3-rank card. Gives you 15, 30 to 45% chance to cripple a limb. These again are good for melee builds, and if you're running a feral build, you'll probably want something like that. Brick Wall. When your glow is high, you're immune to staggering attacks. So if you're in a high radiation area or you keep your glow topped up, a lot of staggering attacks that basically just knock you off your feet or whatnot, you'll be immune. It's a 2-cost, 2-strength card cost, so it is kind of a heavy type thing. Radioactive Strength. This allows you to take some of the glow you have. It allows you to do more with power attack, melee weapon power attacks, and weapon bashing. Weapon bashing, for the most part, I believe, is again a lot used to melee combat. So, again, if you're doing a feral melee or rough melee, you're going to do a lot more damage with the radioactive strength. So, now that we've got that out of the way, we're going to go to Perception. A lot of this, first one we got is Breathe It In. It reduces your rad resistance. Now, normally, a lot of armors will have rad resistance on them. There are a few that don't have rad resistance on them. This is completely optional, dependent on what armors you have and what kind of builds you want to do. So, for ranks 1, 2, and 3, you can reduce your rad resistance by 50, 100, or 150. It just kind of helps get what armor you kind of want at the expense of some perception points. Eye of the Hunter. This gives you more for sniper type builds. It gives you accuracy in VATs. Well, more so rifle, non-automatic rifle builds, I believe. Although it can be used with some automatic rifles. It just gives you more accuracy in VATs from a longer distance. So if you're going to be kind of a VAT sniper, you want this. So it's always a good thing to have. Glowing Hunter. Traces of glowing blood now have a 50% chance to appear on animal corpses. Glowing blood, that's a good source of rads, and as we all know, rads are great for ghouls. So, you'll get a lot of those on animal corpses, which again, bread and butter. And it's only a 1 rank, so not too bad. Rad Reaver. Dealing non-automatic melee damage provides a small amount of glow. It's a 2-cost. This goes for most melee, any automatic melee such as chainsaws, rippers, the auto axe, and the like. You won't be getting much glow out of it. So, again, kind of try to maybe stick to blades, blunt melee damage, and that will help raise those levels up. So, next up, we've got endurance, chem diet. This is a good way of keeping the ferality away, feral things at bay. Chems become 25, 50, and 75% more effective. Now, last minute, I did forget to put this on a chart, but there are a few different tiers in terms of chems. I've actually roughly done up the numbers. I believe there is a certain, we'll go with a lot of the ones I have here. I do not have the ranks for rank 2 or 3, but a lot of things such as Radaway diluted, irradiated blood packs, high radiation fluids, glowing blood pack, and glowing blood, disease cure, and blood pack. They restore 1.25% of your ferality. So if you roughly do the bump ups there, you're getting about maybe 1 to maybe 2% in terms of restoring ferality. Then you kind of go into the second lowest, which deals with Addictol, mentats of all types, berry, grape, standard, and orange, and as well as Radaway. These reduce it to about 3.34% at standard, and go about, I would say, about 4.5% at max of the Chem legendary perk, or with the after the perk here. Antibiotics and Radex diluted are next. They go anywhere from 5 to maybe about 7%, maybe 8. Again, didn't do the math. After that, Medex, Psychotats, Radex, and Skeetospit. If you get rank 1, you'll have about 8.3% reduction in ferality to about 11.7. The second best on the list is Buff Out, Comex, Daddio, Day Tripper, Formula P, and Rad Shield. With the ranks for Chem Diet, you're curing anything from about 12 to 17 and 3/4 of your feral meter. Next after that, you have Buffed Hats, Overdrive, Psycho, XL. With Chem Diet here, you'll get anything from about 18 and 1/4 to about 25 and 3/4 of restorable to increase your yourself from saying feral. Apologies, my brain is somewhat lapsing. However, the best chems you want to get in this game right now to reduce your ferality is Psycho Buff and Fury. This is if you're not using the Chem Survival. I think it's Chem Survivalist. I cannot remember. With the bonuses, you'll be restoring 25 to 35, dependent on the ranks you have. However, if you do have the legendary perk, you will get the Survival Syringe, which will cure about 37.5 to 52.5. So, if you're willing to spend some perk coins or have that perk already, you may want to go with that. However, there is also one that will probably restore all of that, and it's the only one you apparently get when you start becoming a ghoul, and it's called the Fix. Without the bonuses alone, you're healing about 75% of your feral meter. So, add the bonuses, you're going to be able to clear out a feral meter at least once. So that's at least our little primer for Chem Diet. Next up, Glowing Gut. Food and drink may not do anything for hunger and thirst, but give you more rads. 1 times, 2 times, and 3 times comparatively. Radiation Power. Again, this is when you keep your glow up. It roughly has a similar, I believe it has a similar decay rate to the feral, a little less than the feral meter. I can't quite confirm that for sure. But you do expel some of it to deal bonus damage to targets. So, 10, 20, and 30% respectively. Next we go to Thick Skin. This allows you, for non-power armor types, to take less damage from ballistic attacks. This is mostly weapons from guns. A lot of the heavy-powered weaponry will probably not going to go along with this. So, fair warning for you there. It helps you slightly, but I mean, again, it also depends what other cards you usually put this with. So that's kind of the rough explanation of your endurance. Now we go into Charisma. Again, not one of the greatest ones we have to share in terms of stuff, but it does help. First off, feral presence. Again, good for when you're feral, because you after the first 5 seconds after you attack, you're reducing your opponent's damage output by 15 and 30% respectively. This is nice, especially if you're wailing on them a lot more. Glowing one. You essentially become a glowing one. If you have a lot of glow stored up on you, you will provide glow to fellow ghouls on your team. So you're kind of becoming kind of a healing totem, so to speak, if you go by MMO terms. Moral support. When with others, being human, ghoul, whatever, your feral meter will become 50% slower. Simple enough as that. United Ordeal. Ghouls of a feather flock together. If you get this, you're a team with another ghoul. You gain +1 to all special stats. I do not believe this stacks, so if it's just 1, it may just be 1. If you're with 3 others who are ghouls, I believe it might be the same. Again, I'm not fully sure, as I never got to test this out on the PTS. So again, another small one for Charisma. Next up, Intelligence. Bomb Scientist. If you love your grenades, this one's for you. If you when you expend, if you have extra glow and you throw grenades, you can deal extra damage from 20% to 50% bonus damage. If you use a lot of grenades in your playstyle, This will definitely be good to you. It more than likely will not include mines or whatever, so again, it goes with that. Mad Scientist. These for your energy ranged weapons. It may also occur with some of the energy melee. I'm not sure. But it will expend a small amount of glow, should you have it, for 10, 15, and 20% damage boost. Next up is your Rad Specialist. This increases the rads you take in on armor and power armor. So, what this means is if you're in a radiated place, and let's say you don't have, if you don't have Breathe It In, you'll be able to gain more rads that way. Mind you, if you include Breathe It In with that, you're going to get more glow, which again kind of helps with the power armor. It increases the rad intake by 15, 20, and 25. Mind you, if you're wearing an entire matching set, this doubles to 30, 20, 40, and 50%. And the difference between here is the numbers of the set. In terms of armor, you only need 5 pieces. In power armor, you're going for the full 6. So keep remembering that as you look upon your playstyle. Next one after that is Science Monster. While you still have extra glow, once you get hit, you get a damage bonus to your opponent for 10 seconds, namely 5%, 10%, and 15% respectively. So this will mostly help out either in close quarters combat or close quarters ranged. So you have a slight boost there. So that includes all on intelligence. So next up is agility. Action Ghoul. Power of the glow makes your AP regenerate 15% faster, 30%, and 45%. This just means that tying this in with that this will tie in with Action Boy and Action Ghoul again to help boost your AP. Supposedly it'll be a greater way to gain AP, but again, something I've never personally got to test myself, so caveat emptor, or buyer beware. Gun tricks. This allows you to reload your weapons 10, 20%, 30% faster. Again, for a lot of your ranged builds. Hyper reflexes. This is essentially an evasion type skill that is usually with base armor. If you've got high glow, you get 10, 15%, and 20% evasion chance, which is again not bad. And the final one for agility is Jaguar Speed. You get 110% speed if you have high glow at rank 1, and 120% when you get rank 2. So it means you can move a little bit faster as long as you keep your glow topped up. So now we go to luck. Battle genes. As long as you're in combat, you can gain 2 to 4%, 2 and 4 HP per second. which is not too bad. Faulty spots. Weak point damage is increased by 15%. A lot of this is mostly used by range combat, especially if you're trying to basically cripple a limb. So you'll be doing a lot more damage that way, thus more of a chance to cripple a limb and able to do more damage overall. Glowing criticals. Again, keeping high on that glow. If your glow is high, you gain bonus critical damage in VATs. Again, a lot of the range combat. This will boost by 20%, 35%, and 50% critical damage. And the last one for luck is Wild West Hands, which essentially gives you more and more of a chance to reload your entire magazine when empty. Again, good for a lot of the ranged melee builds, especially if you're using a lot of automatic weapons. I would think, but it can be used overall for any ranged weapon. Last on the list, I'll talk about the two legendary perks, which again go with a lot of the play style here. We have Action Diet. Whenever you kill an enemy, you heal 2, 4, or 6 HP, depending on 2, 4, 6, 8 HP, depending on your rank, and you reduce your ferality by 2, 3, 4, and 5%. So the more enemies you kill, the less feral you become. Feral Rage. When you're feral, all your glow perk abilities cost 20, 30, 40, and half the cost of normal glow. So that's at least something to at least look out for here. Let's see. Again, that's most all what I have in terms of slides. I will talk here about some of the other extra effects, or roughly legendary effects, you may want to look for and not look for. In terms of what not to look for, you do not want gourmands or overeaters, as again that goes to deal with food, and we ghouls, we don't eat or drink for sustenance, so that's kind of useless. Mostly due to a lot of the mechanics that come with ghouls. The bloodied legendary effect isn't really useful for us, because instead of being the less that we are in health, we want all the health we can get. But we also want to avoid another thing you do want to avoid is certain items. Again, rat away. We don't want rat away. That's bad stuff. Decontamination arches. Got them. Get rid of them. Again, we're looking to reduce our radiation resistance as much as possible. Also, if you are on a team with folks, please hope to goodness they do not have rat sponge on there. That will drain glow from a ghoul, and the less glow a ghoul has, the more the less effective they become. Again, in terms of mutations, Plague Walker won't do a whole lot of lick. Plague Walker serum will not work, although you can mix and match with a lot of the others you do have. So that's kind of a way to look things there. You can, again, ghouls can get mutations with serums, and you can still remove them with Radaway and decontamination arches like normal. I believe the only way you can keep them is through the starch genes perk. But again, I can't really fully remember what they do, as I either cannot remember testing them out on my own. Yeah. Let's see, what else here do I have? Again, I'm looking up. Da, 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 da. I will say for those who, once the update comes out on Tuesday, essentially what Bethesda will do is you have the chance to become a ghoul. However, if you do find that it's not for you, you have a chance to revert yourself back to your humanity. Again, breaking lore, but I mean, in terms of an online game, not all pieces of lore are bound to fit, so to speak. They have not fully stated whether you can re-ghoulify yourself, but my guess is that they will have it on the atomic shop for a set amount of atoms to make things easier. I don't know what the price would be, but it's anybody's guess, really. Other than that, that's about all I know for now. I do plan on streaming it a bit more in the next few days, getting things ready, maybe getting a few things set up. Yeah, again, I kind of apologize for how short and maybe how abrupt this may be, but again, I did struggle a little bit with gathering this stuff up and getting this last minute, but I do thank everyone who did make it there tonight, make it here tonight, to be here. I will be, I'm currently recording a video I will be putting up on my YouTube channel, which once I get that up, I will be linking it on my Twitch here as well. So keep tuned for that. Other than that, not much up here to say. I'd like to thank those here who made it here tonight. The company is muchly appreciated. And just thank you to the lot of the people in the follow community and outside the follow community that I follow. They've been great supporters. They've helped get some of my numbers up and get that kind of stuff. And hopefully, if things go well, I can become affiliate. What that means is basically more emotes, sound files, whatever you want to call it. This is something I do for fun, something I like to do to help others who play Fallout 76 like I do, who enjoy the game for all of its glory, wonder, chaos, and what have you. So, at least until next time, this is Scott Abernathy saying to you, do no harm unless you really need to, take no shit, and be well out there in this wild, wild wasteland. Until next time, folks, see you in Appalachia.